The world of muscle cars is filled with iconic designs, but not every muscle car hit the mark. From the bulky front ends to awkward proportions, some of these cars became infamous for their looks rather than their performance. Want to know which muscle cars missed the mark? We're diving into the ugliest designs from each decade, and trust us, you won't want to miss this list of automotive disasters. Get ready to see the cars that didn't live up to their powerful reputations. 1970 Dodge Challenger. The 1970 Dodge Challenger is often considered one of the ugliest muscle cars from its era, despite its popularity. While it was initially intended to rival the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro, its design didn't quite hit the mark for many critics. The Challenger's front end was bulky, with a wide grille and awkwardly placed headlights that made it look more like a muscle-bound truck than a sleek sports car. The rear end was just as controversial, featuring a large, unattractive bumper that detracted from its overall design. The car's proportions were off too. It was larger than most muscle cars of the time, which gave it a clunky and unrefined appearance. The 1970 Dodge Challenger was certainly powerful under the hood, but its aesthetics left much to be desired. Though it has a cult following today, it remains one of the muscle cars that often comes up in discussions about ugly design choices. For some, the Challenger's look was a major misstep, especially when compared to its more refined competitors. 1965 Pontiac GTO. The 1965 Pontiac GTO is often hailed as the car that launched the muscle car era, but its design isn't universally loved. While it introduced performance to the mainstream, many believe that its aesthetic was more awkward than alluring. The GTO featured a large, heavy front grille that appeared overly aggressive, while the rounded lines of the body didn't seem to flow as smoothly as other contemporaries. Its rear end, with its square taillights, lacked the sharpness and precision seen in other muscle cars, contributing to its bulky, boxy feel. Despite its performance under the hood, the 1965 Pontiac GTO had an odd combination of design elements that didn't quite fit together. The car seemed caught between trying to look sleek and modern while maintaining the heaviness typical of full-size vehicles. Today, it's considered more of a historical classic, but when it comes to looks, it's clear that the GTO didn't quite measure up to the more streamlined vehicles of the time. It's a prime example of how performance can overshadow design when it comes to muscle cars. 1971 Ford Mustang. The 1971 Ford Mustang is a prime example of a muscle car design that went wrong. While the Mustang had always been known for its sleek, aggressive look, the 1971 version took a drastic turn toward a more bulky, oversized appearance. The car was noticeably larger than its predecessors, which made it look more like a heavy-duty sedan than the fast and nimble muscle car it was meant to be. Its squared-off, blocky front end and the awkward placement of the headlights created a sense of imbalance that many found unattractive. The rear of the 1971 Mustang didn't fare much better, with a flat, uninspired design and an overly large rear bumper that disrupted the car's otherwise boxy shape. While it had power under the hood, its design lacked the grace and finesse that made earlier models so beloved. The 1971 Ford Mustang is often viewed as a misstep in the Mustang lineage, and many enthusiasts still consider it one of the ugliest Mustangs ever produced. It's a car that reminds us that even the most iconic brands can fall victim to poor design choices. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro, while a fan favorite for its power and performance, has long been criticized for its unusual design. The car's front end, with its overly wide grille and small, round headlights, gave it a squished appearance that didn't quite fit the aggressive stance typical of muscle cars. The long, bulky body seemed out of proportion, especially when compared to sleeker, more angular designs from other manufacturers. The rear of the 1969 Camaro was equally unappealing, with its flat, featureless design that lacked the sharp edges seen in more successful muscle car designs. While its performance was top-notch, the Camaro's aesthetic left much to be desired, leading many to question whether it was more focused on raw power than good looks. Today, while it still holds a strong following, the 1969 Camaro is frequently mentioned when discussing muscle cars that didn't get the visual formula right, earning it a spot among the less attractive classics. The 1980 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The 1980 Chevrolet Monte Carlo is often cited as one of the ugliest muscle cars from the late 70s and early 80s. By this time, muscle cars had already started to lose their original flair, and the Monte Carlo was no exception. With a bulky, boxy body and a front end that seemed more suited for a family sedan than a performance vehicle, it lacked the aggressive styling that had made muscle cars so popular in previous decades. The Monte Carlo's rounded headlights and oversized grille made it look more like a suburban cruiser than a muscle car. The large, flat hood, combined with the awkward proportions of the car's body, made it appear less refined and more cumbersome. The rear of the vehicle, with its squat trunk and plain taillights, did little to improve its aesthetic. While the Monte Carlo had some decent power under the hood, its design felt outdated, making it hard to take seriously as a true muscle car. Today, it's often remembered for its lackluster appearance and its contribution to the decline of the muscle car era. 1991 Ford Mustang. The 1991 Ford Mustang tried to embrace the muscle car legacy, but its design left much to be desired. The boxy, angular lines made it look more like a commuter car than a powerhouse on the road. The front end, with its bulky headlights and oversized grille, didn't exude the aggression expected from a Mustang. It had a somewhat clunky appearance, lacking the smooth, refined curves that earlier models were known for. The rear end was equally underwhelming, with its plain design feeling out of place for a car that was supposed to carry the muscle car torch. While the 1991 Mustang performed decently, its uninspiring design didn't capture the excitement or energy of its iconic predecessors. 2000 Dodge Viper. The 2000 Dodge Viper, while powerful and fast, was a bit of an eyesore when it came to design. The front was excessively wide and blocky, with sharp lines that made it look more like a military vehicle than a sleek performance car. The headlights were overly large and almost awkwardly positioned, giving the car an unbalanced, top-heavy look. The rear end, with its bulky taillights and disproportionate shape, only added to the strange aesthetic. Despite its incredible performance on the track, the Viper's design struggled to capture the elegant aggression seen in other supercars of the time. It was a car that demanded attention, but not for the right reasons when it came to looks. The 2010 Chevrolet Camaro. The 2010 Chevrolet Camaro marked a revival for the classic nameplate, but its design left many questioning its aesthetics. The car's massive, bulky proportions were reminiscent of muscle cars from the 70s, but in a less refined way. The front grille was oversized, giving it a heavy, overly aggressive look that didn't flow with the rest of the car's body. The sharp, square angles on the sides and rear made the Camaro appear more clunky than sleek, especially compared to its more streamlined competitors. While it was a throwback to classic muscle, the 2010 Camaro's design often felt too retro and out of place for a modern muscle car, earning it a spot among the less visually appealing entries in the Camaro lineup. That's it for today's rundown of the ugliest muscle cars from each decade. Do you agree with our picks, or is there another muscle car you think deserves to be on the list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your opinions, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more automotive content like this. Who knows, your favorite muscle car might be the next one we dive into. Don't miss our next video, 10 GM experiments from the 90s that totally flopped. Coming soon. You won't want to miss it.